everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be converting my brand new WF7210 into a sublimation printer. So all you need is a printer. It can either be an eco tank or it can be a workforce kind, which is like this one. The eco tank though, it has a different method of converting. So this method is gonna be a little bit different and a little bit more complicated, just a tiny bit. But all you need is a printer and some ink. Has to be sublimation ink. So with that being said, let's get started. Here I have my ink, which I will take out of the box in a bit. And then in here I have my paper and some Teflon pillows, which I will get into that later on in the video. So now let's open it up. Okay, so the printer comes with its own cartridges, but we will not be using these. We will be using the sublimation ones. So I'm just gonna put these to the side, and I don't know how I'm gonna get this printer out of here. It's huge. I'm gonna have to call backup. Gracias. This is how the cartridges look. So the other cartridges that I took out, those are the regular ink. We obviously can't use regular ink. If you want to do sublimation, you have to use sublimation ink. So because of that, you have to get refill cartridges. There's other ways to do it, but it's a lot more complicated. The easiest way is to do it like this. So you buy the inkjet cartridge, don't even know if I'm saying it right, but you buy that, and then you pretty much just have to use these to get the ink in here. Now I was expecting to see two colored plugs because that's how they normally come in, but I guess they're doing them different now. So wherever you get it from, make sure that you do your research, and you don't want to put the ink where the air vent goes, because that would just be a total mess. So with that being said, the bottom one is going to be your air vent, this clear one. There's a little clear thing. You're going to be removing that once you're done with this and you put it in your printer. So you're going to do that. This one we're going to take it out. We're going to take it off, and this is where the ink is going to go. So I'm going to put it in right now for now. And this is the magenta. So I'm going to grab the magenta, and I'm going to start converting. So pretty much they come with these little like needles, kind of. So we're going to, hopefully you guys can see, we're just gonna stick that in there like this, and then we're gonna remove the safety thing, and then the ink has a little like protective seal. You want to leave that on, and I know a lot of people they shake them a little bit before. Oh, this one doesn't even have a seal. A lot of people shake them beforehand, but mine have done a lot of shaking. So I'm not gonna shake them. I'm just gonna leave them like that. So you have to make sure that you get the right color for the right one. So I'm gonna be removing that, and I'm going to be filling this up. And then you just stick it in here. And if you need more ink, just grab more ink. What converting is, you just have to put this ink into these refillable cartridges and then work from there. One thing I do want to say is there's like a little plastic thing right here. Don't take that off. Do not take that off. This little plastic thing, don't take it off. Don't worry about it. The printer, it will cut a hole, or it would poke a hole through here when it's ready to like suck the ink. So don't mess with that. That is the whole show of converting. So with that being said, I am going to fill the rest of these and then we'll be putting them into the printer. Okay, so it is now asking to put in the cartridges. So we're gonna open this up and this is how it looks. This is where the cartridges go. So you're gonna put them in, and the way you know that they're all the way pushed in is when you hear that snap. So now what we're gonna do is remove all of the air vents. And then we're gonna close this. And now this. And then it's gonna check them. So I didn't want to bore you guys with all of the stuff that you have to do, you know, the whole setting up process when you get a new printer. I didn't want to bore you guys, so I decided to just do that off camera. So pretty much just asked me for the paper, the sizing and all of that, and I just input that. Then I had to install the CD. Make sure that you do that, because if there's any drivers that you need to install, you want those. So make sure that you do that. If you don't have a desktop, or if your laptop doesn't have like the CD drive, they do have them on the website, where, you know, like the Epson websites, if you're gonna purchase one of these, or even the Eco Tanks, they have them on the Epson website. So make sure you follow all of those instructions. One thing that I did want to mention is, once I had done everything, it printed like a test copy. And as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but the colors do look a little dull. Like, it looks good, it doesn't look crazy, it looks good, but the colors are a little dull. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but some lines are darker than other lines. So that does tend to happen. You, at the end of the day, when you first, you know, print the test page, you are using the default settings, which is why it is so important to make sure that before you do your first sublimation project, you change the settings on your computer. Do not do your first sublimation project using the default settings, because your colors are not gonna pop. They're gonna be very dull, because the thing is that you just converted the printer, but the printer in itself doesn't know that it's been converted. It still thinks it's a regular inkjet printer. So it's gonna act like one. So you have to go in there and change the settings. Even when you do, like, even in the other inkjet, whenever you use a regular inkjet printer, even when you're gonna do like stickers or something like that, you always want to change the settings, because that helps a lot. Like, don't keep it at default. This is why a lot of the times people be like, oh, my project is not coming out, it must be the paper, it must be the ink. No, a lot of the times it's the settings. You have to make sure that your settings are correct. Do not use default. So with that being said, I am gonna show you guys what settings I used. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of the before with just the default settings, and then I'm going to show you guys the picture that I printed after I changed my settings. And I'm gonna show you guys what settings I used. I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the paper that I printed, and I honestly like the colors. Obviously it's not gonna look as bright because once you press it on the polyester material, then the colors really show. But for now, I think the colors look great regardless, even though they're just on the paper. So I'm gonna be showing you guys the settings. So with that being said, let's get right to it. Okay, so the way I changed my settings is I'm gonna go to here, file, I'm gonna go to print, and I'm gonna go here where it says preferences. Make sure that you're on the right printer. Now I am gonna go, so all of this pretty much stays the same. Auto select. Now you have to make sure that's right. Okay, so the paper type, you have to change it to premium presentation paper matte. I don't know how to say that, but you have to change it to this one, premium presentation paper. Your quality has to be high. Okay, the color stays like that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so for this is good. Now you're going to go up here where it says more options. And right here, you're going to go where it says color correction. You're going to go to custom. You're going to go to custom. That's going to let you do the advanced. So you're going to click at advanced. You're going to go here. And where it says color control, you're going to change the settings right here to Adobe RGB. Once you're able to do that, it's going to show the gamma. You leave that at 2.2. Leave it at 2.2. Don't mess with it. So after that, you're pretty much just going to hit OK. And the next thing you have to do is mirror your image. I had already did that like I had mentioned because I want to be able to use that. Because I want to show you guys the difference of when it presses. So I had already mirrored it. Make sure you press mirror and make sure you take off the high speed. Don't leave high speed checked. Take that off and mirror, put right here, mirror image. Once you have that, you're good to go. Then you're just gonna hit OK, and then you're gonna press print. I already printed, so I'm gonna hit cancel. Okay, so I printed the one with the default settings, which this is how it looks. When you apply it onto the shirt, it's gonna be like this, which is why you had to mirror it. So it looks good. It looks very dull. I mean, compared to like, boom. I know you guys can tell the difference. So this was with all of the settings that I had used. This is when I changed the settings. So you guys can see the difference. Like, take a good look. And then, wowzers. It's just like, it like talks to you. So those are the settings that I used. And as you guys could tell the difference, there was a difference. I know you could tell the difference. There was definitely a difference. One last thing that I totally forgot to mention when I was doing the whole ink converting thing, I had mentioned that you have to remove the little air vent plugs, the clear plugs. You have to remove them. Make sure that you keep those. Keep those plugs. Don't throw them away. Because if in the near future you have to travel or you're not going to be home or you're not going to use your printer for a few days, make sure that you put those plugs back in. Oh, my hair's a mess. Make sure you put those plugs back in. 1, your ink doesn't dry, and 2, you won't have any problems. So with that being said, like I did mention before, there will be a part 2 where I will be putting these designs on the polyester fabric. So stay tuned if you want to see how this looks pressed. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time.